All right, good morning. We are going to today talk about how we can change from what we call standard form. So you're going to see an equation like this. So for instance, you might see 2x plus 3y equals 6. And we need to be able to change it back to slope-intercept form. So we're going to talk about how to convert something that looks like this to this and graph it. Okay, so if you will look at your orange paper and follow along with the examples with me. Okay, so this has to convert this to slope-intercept form. So I know this is in standard form because it is in this form. AX plus BY equals, 14, but it equals what we call C. Okay, so when it's like this, the first thing that you want to do is move your X to the other side. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of make some notes here. So first, either add or subtract the X term. Okay, so what I mean by that, here I have a 6x. Well, to make it cancel, I need to subtract 6x. So I'm going to move that over here. Okay, so these will cancel, and that'll leave me with 2y equals. Now, when you write this down, I want you to write your x term first. So I'm going to write negative 6x first. Then the 14, it's positive, so I'm going to bring it down behind it. Now, I cannot add these together, though, because this has an x and this does not. So I cannot actually add those together, so this is what I have. Okay, now my next step in my problem will be to divide by the number with y. Okay, so I have a 2 that's in front of the y, so I divide the whole problem by 2. Okay, so in doing that, these 2's cancel. I'm going to write my answer over here. Negative 6 divided by 2 is negative 3x, and 14 divided by 2 is 7. So this is my slope-intercept form. Okay, and then remember, your slope is the one that has the x with it, so the mx. This is what has the b. So my slope is negative 3, and my y-intercept is 7. Okay, so to graph that, you start with your y-intercept. Okay, so on the y-axis, I'm going to put a dot at 7. Okay, then my slope is negative 3. So first off, it's negative, which means my line is going to look like this. Okay, but if it's 3, I'm going to treat that as 3 over 1. So I'm going to do rise over run. So here, I'm going to go down 1, 2, 3, and then I'm going in this direction 1 because it's a negative slope. And then I can do that again, down 1, 2, 3, over 1, down 1, 2, 3, over 1. Now, you can keep going, but as long as you get a few dots, connect those dots, and there is your graph. Okay. All right, so let's look at example 2. All right, I have x minus 5y equals 10. So my first step is to add or subtract the x value. It's a positive x, so I'm going to subtract the x so that those will cancel. Okay, that leaves me negative 5y equals Now, this is an x. This does not have an x. So I'm going to bring down the negative x first. Then I'm going to bring down that positive 10 behind it. Okay, and then my next step will be to divide everything by negative 5. I'm going to write that answer right here. Now, this is, if you have just a negative x, remember that will be like a 1 here. So negative 1 divided by negative 5. Okay, a negative divided by a negative will be positive. 1 divided by 5 is going to stay 1 over 5. So don't actually change those to decimals. You want to leave it as a fraction. And then 10 divided by negative 5 is negative 2. Okay, so my slope is 1 over 5, and my y-intercept is negative 2. Okay, so when you graph it, remember, graph your y-intercept first. So I'm going to negative 2 here. And then I'm going to use my slope. Remember, slope as rise over run. Okay, and it's positive, so my slope's going to go in that direction. So I'm going to go up 1 and over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Up 1, over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can also go down 1 and left 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then you can connect those together. Okay, so let's look at our last example. All right, we have 5x minus y equals negative 8. Okay, so I have a positive 5x, so I'm going to start by subtracting 5x from both sides so that those will cancel. Now, don't forget to bring this negative with your y. And then negative 5x comes first. And minus 8 will come behind it. All right, and then now, if you have just a negative y, remember that's a negative 1. So we're going to divide the entire problem by negative 1. Okay, so those will cancel. Negative 5 divided by negative 1 is positive 5. And negative 8 divided by negative 1 is positive 8. So my slope is 5, and my y-intercept is 8. So starting at the y-intercept, going to 8, and putting a dot, and then using rise over run. Okay, if it's just a 5, we put that as 5 over 1. Now, I can't go up 5. I'm going to run out of room. So I have to go down 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now, because it's a positive, I'm going this way so that my line will go up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over 1. And that way my line is going in the correct direction here. And that will be my graph.